Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I am still on the
Hare
move.
Krishna Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. Thank you so much for
Hare
coming.
Krishna. Thank you. I am still on the move. I am in a very famous temple in South India. This temple is Lord Rama's temple. So this Ram, he is called Lord Ram who saved the lake. In Tamil, they say Yeri Katarama, a very old deity. And of course, the temple is undergoing renovation, so we can't see the main deity. We were only able to see the festival deities. You see, the temple is undergoing massive renovation. So we couldn't see the festival deity is there. We can see the festival deity. They will not allow, generally, they don't allow in South India to take picture of deities. So I'll try to show the festival deity from outside. Whatever you can see, you see. You see, the festival deity is actually inside, but there's too much rush. Maybe we can get some opportunity to see the deity. Let me see if I can focus. So here we have two sets of deities. One deity is Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Hanuman. And other deity is called Karunakara Perumal. So this deity, Karunakara Perumal, is supposed to be here for the past 4 yugas. This deity was worshipped by Lord Ram. Then it is also worshipped by Krishna and Balaram. This is what they say. So, the Karunakara Perumal deity, then Lakshmi Devi, she is called Janakavalli. So there's Karunakara Perumal and Janakavalli. The festival deities have, the festival deity of Janakavalli is separate. It is a separate altar for it. And then Lord Ram is separate. I don't know if you're able to see. I can see Lord Ram. Little bit I can see him. I don't know if you're able to see him. It's a very old temple. Yeah, I zoomed. Zoomed. You see, Lord Ram's face is a little bit visible. So many people. Okay, this is some prasad. This is some prasad, sweet rice, full of ghee, very hot. You can see my wife is holding. Her hand is already dripping with ghee. So you can see prasad and honor it. It's the easiest way of honoring currently. You can see prasad and honor it. So 2 deities, they are there. So this Ram, there's a big lake here. It is called Viranarayanapuram Lake. So that lake, during British period, that lake was bursting out. And this Ram, he actually saved the lake. And he also gave darshan to the collector, the British collector at that time. So therefore, now, from that time, he came to be known as Lord Ram, who saved the lake. Lake Savior Ram. So that's how he is called, Erikata Ramar. Okay, so this is a little bit of the background of where we are here. So, 1 second. So, hmm? Just give me a minute. I'll walk back to the car and then we can start. This temple is taken care by Ahobilam Mutt. Ahobilam Mutt is a very big mutt in South India, and they take care of many temples, including the famous Navanarshima temple in Ahobilam. They take care of many temples. So they are taking care of this temple also. There's a small pukur in the front, mostly dried up. Okay, so we are here, we are settled. Let us officially start the class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam skumagatam prita dravasamritam pivata bhagavat rasamalayam haraghorasikabu bhavakaha. Narayanam namaskritya naranchaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet. Ashtaprayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavat shloke bhaktir bhavati nishtiki. Om Ajnanatimandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Prupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunathantikam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakana Lita Shri Vishakanitamsha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabadho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vashavanasate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhisya Kripa Sudubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravacharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Yes, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So you're more or less in the end of the sixth canto, which is bringing you to the end of your Bhakti Vaibhava studies. You're hardly left with one more unit. So I was asked to cover the unit of Vritasura, which also is a very important unit because in the first canto, Prabhupada mentions that, quoting Matsya Puran, he mentions that Bhagavatam is known as a book where the story of Vritasura is explained. So, more or less, the pastime of Vritasura, it is an identity to Bhagavatam because the pastime of Vritasura, it explains some very intricate principles of devotional service, especially the point where in the second chapter of first canto, the very definition of devotional service is given. So these two words are considered the defining words of the nature of pure devotional service, Ahaituki and Apratihata. So Vritrasura's pastime, along with, of course, Chitraketu's pastime. It explains the very core principle of this Ahaitukya Pratyeka Bhakti. So therefore, this pastime is considered very significant. And of course, there are many interesting twists and turns in this pastime. It's a very elaborate pastime with many things happening. But before we get into the details of the pastime, we just try to examine the content of the sixth canto in relevance to this particular pastime. So, since I'm going to travel on the road, I'm going to switch off my video, because sometimes keeping the video on the road is not very conducive, because the signal becomes sometimes weak or something like that. If I get dropped, I will connect back. So just stay and be a little patient. I'll connect back. So I will switch off the video. So anybody remembers what is the title of sixth canto? What is the title of sixth canto? Anyone remembers?
Prescribed duties for mankind.
Yeah, the prescribed duties of mankind. That's the title of sixth canto. So, what does that relate to in the? Okay, we have to have AC on, because so much of outside air will make too much noise here. So, what does that topic relate to in the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, the prescribed duties of mankind? What does the topic relate to, the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam? Anybody? So, it relates to Manvantara. It relates to Manvantara. So, the first canto is Sarga, second canto is Visarga, third canto is Sthanam, fourth canto is Poshanam, fifth canto is Uti, sixth canto is Manvantara. So, what is the connection between Manvantara and prescribed duty? If you go back to Sukadeva Goswami's definition of these 10 topics in a very sutra form in the second canto, 10th chapter, you will find that Sukadeva Goswami defines Manvantara as Manvantara and Sadharma. He explains Manvantara as Manvantara and Sadharma. The genealogical table of Manus and their descendants, it could be discussed in various ways. It could be just discussed as a historical chronicle, which is done in some Puranas, that he came after this person, came after this person came after this person. So this person made many exploits, and he was a very famous person. He was a very famous king, like that. Actually, simply understand the family tree of the genealogy of the kings, which is considered very important. So that's also another way of explaining Manvantara. But Bhagavatam does not explain Manvantara in these terms, even though you may find such information. You may find that this person was born to this person was born to this person, and this person was born to this person, like that. You may find, or you may find descriptions of a particular Manu and his descendants. You may find. But Bhagavatam explains these things with a particular motive. What is that motive? The motive is that the function of Manus is to establish Sadharma. That's why the Manus are there. Otherwise, the Manus need not even exist. They are simply there to establish Sadharma. Now, what is Sadharma? This point has been explored in detail in sixth canto. That what is Sadharma? This point has been explored in sixth canto. So one may say Sadharma is one's Varnashrama Dharma, because that is what one is supposed to follow. And Varnashrama Dharma is given by the Lord Himself. Varnashrama Charavata Purusam, all that is there. That Varnashrama, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam Gunakarma Bhagashaha. One may say that Sadharma is Varnashram Dharma, and that is the natural topic of Manus. And we can see that Manu Samhita also deals with the duties of different Varnas and different ashramas. Prabhupada has often quoted Manu Samhita to explain the different duties of different Varnas, different ashramas. Sometimes to explain Sri Dharma. So all these things Prabhupada has quoted extensively from Manu Samhita in his purports. So it may look as if that Manus are there in order to establish Varnashram Dharma. But it is correct. But Bhagavatam's exploration of Sadharma is not limited to Varnashram Dharma, because Bhagavatam goes to the root definition of what is Dharma. Dharma means that which cannot be separated from the existence of a person. That's called Dharma. You cannot separate it from the existence of a person. But Varnashram Dharma is not like that. You cannot separate it from the existence of the body. It's not, you cannot separate it from the existence of the person. Because a person is born in a certain way with certain guna, certain karma, and then he does some activities, then accordingly he gets his varna identity and ashrama identity. But that is limited to that particular body. So therefore, even though Varnashram Dharma is Dharma, it cannot be called as Sadharma. It is temporary. So Manvantaras are meant to establish Sadharma. Sadharma means Sat means that which is permanent. Dharma of the living entity, which is beyond your pointed. So we're coming back to the point. So sixth canto essentially deals with two topics. The first topic is what is Sadharma, and the second topic is how to avoid going to hell. And these two topics are very intricately connected. So, because in the end of fifth canto, yes, somebody has to say something.
No,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhuji, that was by mistake.
What is that?
That was by mistake, Prabhuji. By
Yeah,
mistake.
okay. No problem. Because I am on a mobile, so I can't really see that if anybody wants to say something. So please feel free to raise your hand, or if you want to say something, interrupt, no problem. So, the sixth canto tries to answer two questions. One question is that what is Sadharma? And the second question is how to avoid going to hell. Because in the end of fifth canto, Sukadeva Goswami gave different descriptions of hellish planets. And then Parikshit Maharaj heard all those descriptions and how people are suffering in hell. So he became very compassionate because he was Vaishnava, he became very compassionate. And then in the beginning of sixth canto, he asked this question to his spiritual master: how to stop people from going to hell? Why they are unnecessary? Why they should go to hell and suffer? Can we not stop it? Then Sukadeva Goswami gave him some answers just to test him. So the first thing he told is that, they should just simply follow their Varnashram Dharma. And in their Varnashram Dharma, even if they do some sinful activity, there is some prayaschitta which is given. So they should perform the prayaschitta, and they will be all right, they will not go to hell. Then he didn't agree with that. He said that very famous shloka, which is also quoted in Nectar of Instruction, Vachit Vyabhadrat, Vachit Charaditat Punaha Prayaschitta Varnam Magnet Jarasuchava. So he was not very happy. Then Sukadeva Goswami, he suggested Jnana, the path of Jnana, Tapasa Brahmacharya, Samena Chitamena, Dagyana Satyasotavya, Yamena Niyamena Va. So, but that was also he was not very happy. He said, "Oh, it's not workable solution." Then Sukadeva Goswami suggested the real solution. He said, "Kechit kevalya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agam dunvanti karshneya niharam viha bhaskaraha." He gave a very wonderful example. Also, he said that just like the fog is removed without any traces by the sunshine. When the fog is there, it is so thick that it seems that it is able to cover the sun also, or it is able to stop the sunshine from reaching also. But the sunshine is far more powerful than the fog, because in a short time, the sunshine actually removes the entire fog. And you can't even find the trace of the fog existing before. So therefore he says, Niharam iva bhaskaraha. So kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agam dunvanti karshneya niharam iva bhaskaraha. He says that people go to hell because of sinful reactions. So if they engage in kevala bhakti, kevalaya bhaktya, kevala bhakti means pure devotional service. Vasudeva parayanaha means that they show complete dependence to Vasudeva. Vasudeva Parayanaha. They have shown utter and complete dependence to Vasudeva. Then it is possible that they could be relieved from the hellish suffering. And Parikshit Maharaj, he was very happy with his answer. To evidence his statement, then he spoke elaborately about these pastimes, which is the pastime of, even though these pastimes, they seem to be unconnected, like Ajamila is Brahman and Vilprasura is demon and Chitraketu is king. Even though these pastimes are unconnected, but there is a connecting thread between these pastimes, which is this two subject matters itself. First subject matter is how to stop from going to hell. Second subject matter is what is Sadharma. Or you can say first subject matter is what is Sadharma. Again, second subject matter is how to stop people from going to hell. So, in the past time of Ajamila, it was very clear that he was going to go to hell. The Yamadutas came, they wanted to take him to hell. And then Ajamila, he uttered the name of Narayana. He just called out as Narayana once, but he did not mean the Supreme Lord. He simply meant his own son. But still, the Vishnudutas came and stopped him from going to hell. So, the whole lesson we get from the pastime of Ajamila is that Ajamila is in the top of Varnashram. He is a Brahman. He is the head of the society. He is top of Varnashram. And he is also a very qualified Brahmana. He has Vedic knowledge. He is married. He has a beautiful wife. He is living his life very peacefully. And he is very obedient to his parents. And he is very expert in performing the various Vedic rituals. And the very reason he went to forest was to bring some firewood for the sacrificial ceremonies. But he saw this lady in a very compromising position with a man, and then he got captivated to that whole sight. And then he kept thinking about it. But parallelly, he was also thinking that I'm a Brahmana. I should not think about this lady. She's a lousy lady. I have a beautiful wife. I can satisfy myself with this wife. I don't have to think about this lady. But his lust was so strong that he actually eventually brought that lady, kept her as his maid servant, and then he fell for her. And in the process, he threw away his parents, he threw away his wife, and then he became rascal number one. All these things you already studied. So the point is that his Varnashram dharma did not save him from going to hell. That is the point. that even though he was on top of the Varnashram, he was not the bottom of the Varnashram, he was on top of the Varnashram. And even though he was expert in performing his duties, which are Varnashram related duties, and even though he had the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong, it's not that he did not have knowledge. He had knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. And even though he tried to apply that knowledge practically using the determination of being a Brahmana who knows Shastra, all that did not help him from falling for this lady and then going to hell. But what saved him was involuntary or an utterance of the Lord's name, which was not even aimed at the Lord. So bhakti, which was done inattentively, was enough to save him. But his attentive Varnashrama duties did not save him. That is the point which Sukadeva Goswami is trying to make. And he's saying that, see, so therefore, he's saying Sadharma means devotional service. So only that can save somebody from going to hell. Then, after that, he explains the pastime of Vritrasura. So, when he will explain the pastime of Vritrasura, then Sukadeva Goswami, Parishit Maharaj will get very surprised. And he will make a comment, Muktanam api siddhanam Vasudeva parayanaha Narayana parayanaha Sudurlava prasantatma Kotishwapi Mahamune. He will say. Out of crores of people who are Muktana means liberated, amongst those people who are liberated, there are only few people who are perfected beings. Siddhana, Muktana api Siddhana. Amongst those people who are perfected beings, one who is exclusively devoted to Narayana, that person is even more difficult to find. He is even more rare. Amongst crores of such people, you can find one person with such Determination. Kotiswapi Mahamune, he said. He said that the determination which Vritrasura has shown, this is extraordinary determination. So he was asking, how come an Asura has such a disposition? How come he has such a determination? And that leads to his further explaining the story of Chitraketu. So from the story of Vritrasura, from the pastime of Vritrasura, we can actually find that it doesn't matter if you are in hellish condition. If you are a devotee, then you are all right. So first point was that how to avoid going to hell. The second point is, it doesn't matter whether you are in hellish condition. That is why finally the conclusion Lord Shiva will give is that Narayana Parasarve na kutaschana vidyati Swarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshinaha, he will say. So the conclusion is that avoiding to go to hell is not so important. Even though it was explained previously that by performing bhakti, even carelessly, one can avoid going to hell. But only the thing is that it should be offenseless. That's the only thing. So this I explained before. But now one step, it's going higher. What is that? You may practically be in hellish condition, which is what Vritrasura was in. Vritrasura was in hellish condition. Because Asura, he was not liked by anybody. The sages were telling Indra that kill this guy. And Indra went to kill him. The Lord himself is giving the idea how to kill him. So everybody wants to see him dead. And that's not a very good situation to be in. That, all nice people are wanting that, okay, let this guy die. Of course, Asuras are very happy to have him because he is so powerful. and they have not had such a leader for a long time. So they are very, very happy to have him. But who wants the company of Asuras? Nobody wants the company of Asuras. All good people don't want to be associated with him. They are all telling that, oh, see this guy. So in one sense, to be an Asura and to be in the kind of company and to be despised by people who are saintly in nature, this is one sense like hellish condition. It's hellish condition. So that hellish condition, he was able to overcome because of his practice of devotional service. So that is the whole point which Ajamila's story, Dhritarashtra's pastime explains. And then the next step is that Chitraketu's pastime explains it doesn't matter whatever is the condition. Doesn't matter. As long as one is fixed in his engagement in pure devotional service, whether one is in heavenly condition or hellish condition, doesn't matter. But if one is not fixed in his devotional service, whatever you have also doesn't matter. Like Chitraketu as a king, he had everything. He had big treasury. He had, millions of wives, and he had such a big arrangement, and he was very powerful, big army. He was very rich, but he did not have a son. And then Angira came and gave him a son also. Now he had a son also. But that very son whom he wanted so desperately became the cause of wives. And then he was lamenting so much that it's explained in Bhagavatam that he was going to leave his body, which is like a hellish suffering. So all his piety, which made him a king, which made him a very powerful person, which gave him so many riches, which gave him association of great personalities like Angira, etc., could not save him from going to hellish condition. He went to hellish condition of whatever he had. But when he had the association of Narada Muni, who actually gave him instructions on the science of self-realization, simply by such association, he was able to see Lord Sankarsana, and then he was able to place himself with proper determination. And when Mother Parvati cursed him, he was able to take up that curse in a proper spirit and then maintain that consciousness irrespective of going into a demoniac body. So therefore, Lord Shiva will actually tell Parvati that, see, you should not mess around with Vaishnavas. You should not have cursed with Chitraketu. Anyway, you did, and then Parvati showed her power. She showed her power on Chitraketu. Said, see, I'm so powerful, I can curse you. I can make you demon. And Chitraketu, he won over Parvati without showing any power. He did not retaliate back. He did not counter curse her. He did not nullify his curse. Rather, he came and then he pacified Parvati and then he apologized to her. And then he accepted that curse very happily. He did not even ask her to remedy that curse. Yeah, okay, it is very good. So then he accepted the curse, which actually made Parvati to completely change her opinion about Chitraketu. Previously, she was thinking that he's an upstart. He doesn't know how to talk. He's a very offensive person. All these things. But after he came and he dealt with her, then Parvati was very ashamed that, oh, why did I curse this man? I should not have cursed this man. But Lord Shiva was also laughing. He said, oh, you see what you have done. And then Parvati is very proud of her beauty. Lord Shankaracharya actually wrote many verses glorifying her beauty. It is called Saundarya Lahari. So Lord Shiva told, you may be very beautiful, but by his behavior, Chitraketu has become more beautiful than you. So this way, again, it is explained that simply doing one's duty according to Varnashram is not enough to stop one from entering into hellish condition. But if one is a devotee, even if one enters into the worst of the worst conditions, really doesn't matter because he is fixed in his determination for devotional service. So that's the conclusion of sixth canto. In answering these two questions, the first question is that what is Sadharma? That pure devotional service is Sadharma. And how to stop people from going to hell. Nama Bhas Bhakti can stop people from going to hell. But of course, we need, our intention is not that we just want to avoid hell. Our intention is that we want to develop love of Godhead, Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, it's a very interesting this thread which is there in the sixth canto, which is mainly about these two questions: that what is Sadharma and how to stop people from going to hell. So this question is very comprehensively answered in this canto. Okay, so any questions, comments, anything? Till now what we saw. Anybody has something to say or question to ask?
Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Prabhuji, can you please tell little bit more about that Krishna has told about the Varna Ashram Dharma? Is it really necessary to get into Varna Ashram Dharma? Because as we read in NOD, there is no limb of bhakti out of 64 which says that get into Varna Ashram Dharma, then only you will be able to perform any, you will be able to perform any limb of the bhakti. And Prabhupada didn't mention anything about Varnashna, like any sanskara, like Vivah sanskar, or anything in the in discharging pure devotional service out of 64. So is it really get necessary to get into?
Okay, it's a very interesting question that Varnashram is not Anga Bhakti. So why are we bothering about Varnashram? Let's parcel it and throw it in Ganga and then let's be happy for the rest of our life. So if that is the case, then Prabhupada would not have said that 50% of my mission is not complete. And Prabhupada would not have said that he wanted to establish Varnashram. The point is that technically we are correct, that we don't require Varnashram to progress in Bhakti. We can just progress in Bhakti by the strength of Bhakti itself. There's no problem. But there's a big but, and it is capital letter, it is very big, and it is should be put in block letters. But it's a very big but. What is that but? The but is that we are not pure enough. So therefore we need Varnashram. Because Varnashram will not allow us to do nonsense in the name of Bhakti. It will not allow us to become Sahajyas, that who will do any sinful activity in the name of Bhakti and then say that I am a pure devotee. So therefore nothing affects me. That kind of nonsense Varnashram can avoid, because Varnashram is very strict in its rules and regulation that, Brahmachari has to be like this, Grahastha has to be like this, Vanaprastha has to be like this, Sannyasi has to be like this, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Everybody is having their space and domain within which they can operate and their own rules and regulations with which they have to operate. So basically, if you follow Varnashram, then it gives very little scope for falling down. It gives very little scope for causing some disaster, etc. For our own self and for others also. Because if a prominent devotee falls down or he does something which is nonsense, then it affects the whole movement, or it affects a significant amount of followers in this movement. Like every time you see some leader does something, then there is a big fallout that, that why this leader did like this, why this leader did like that. And then people get so much of heartburn. They become very bitter in their heart because they post their faith on that particular leader and they saw him as a saintly person. They didn't expect that he will do such nonsense. So why did he do that nonsense? If we actually closely examine every scandal which has happened in ISKCON, simply because they did not follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram. Simply because of that. Nothing more. It's not like big rocket science happened and then somebody had a trouble. It's not like that. Every time the issue is same, that you don't follow the basic rules and regulations of Varnashram. So therefore, as long as we are not purified, we require Varnashram so that we can remain within our limits, that our limits are well known and we can remain within our limits in terms of our activities, in terms of our interactions, both inside the society and outside the society. We can maintain certain semblance because of Varnashram. Suppose let's say that there's no Varnashram. Then what is the other tool to stop them from doing some sinful activity, other than just the four regulative principles, which deals with gross sinful activities, or subtle also, but people don't have so much understanding of how the subtle part works. Mainly see gross, people see gross, okay, I have no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. So gross sex life is out. But there are so many other things which could attract someone. So therefore, Varnashram is very important. We should follow Varnashram so that we can remain regulated in our devotional service, and then we can perform devotional service with the least amount of resistance. That's why Varnashram is very important. But of course, it's a big topic. So people keep debating it. Some people have written books also. It's not a simple topic. It's a vast topic. But general understanding, whatever I give it, you can take it. That Varnashram should be used as a safety net, so that we don't fall down. But if we fall down, we don't break our spiritual life. We still fall down to certain standard, which is set in mode of goodness, etc. Does it make sense?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask one more thing. In nutshell, I was able to say that if one has already done the crossed the anarth nivritti stage, then it is okay. The second question, it is coming in my mind. The first is like which I was thinking, and the second is coming when one decides, like a brahmachari decide to go into after the PBD pre-brahmachari training, one decides to go. My brother else has also undergone, so I know about this. So I just want to ask. So does it mean like if somebody decided to get into grasta ashrama, or to second option is to become a brahmachari? So the point is coming like that. Is it like necessary if one is getting into the brahmachari ashram, his anartha is done? So he has just taken the step, and bhakti process is so strong that with time being following the what acharyas has told, what Srila Prabhupada has told, one can of course go ahead. These two things are coming. If you can please tell.
Yeah. So the point is that again, the thing which I said, that Varnashram it helps you to avoid sin. So that's a very important thing. It's a very important thing that we should not do sin in our conscious life. So that's what Varnashram helps. So therefore, If we just simply apply Varnashram in the right way, then that is very good for devotional souls. And it's a must also.
Thanks so much, Ruchi.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is, Prabhuji, that whatever happened to Ajamila is generally don't happen to the people, who is practicing Varnashram or devotional service. It generally don't happen. But something like this, if something like this happen, there is a story behind it. But whenever there is something big, major thing happens, there in general there is a major story behind it. So why this happened to Ajamila? Is
So why this happened to Ajamila? Bhagavatam doesn't so much deal with it, why it happened to him, but Bhagavatam deals with it happened to him. So the point is that if it could happen to him, it could happen to any of us. That is the point which Bhagavatam wants to say. That look at him, he's so nice, he is well situated, he is otherwise very good. And if that could happen to him, it could happen to you also. That is the point which Bhagavatam wants to say. And in that purports, you might remember, Prabhupada actually writes that in those days, there was only one man and woman who were half naked on the street. Prabhupada says in Kali Yuga, it is very common to find such people, so many people like that on the streets in Kali Yuga. So, this situation. So, that situation we should understand and we should try to follow our initiation vows very strictly. That is the whole point which we should try to understand. Why it happened to Ajamila? Maybe it was his karma that he has to go through it. So it happened. But we don't find that discussion in Bhagavatam, like why it happened to.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other question, comment, anything? Okay. So we can enter into the pastime since there are no other questions or comments. We can enter into the pastime. The pastime starts with a very interesting happening that Indra, he is present in his court and everybody is glorifying Indra. And Indra is thinking, oh, this is all very good. I'm very nice. I'm very great. And at the time, his spiritual master comes. And then Indra decides to ignore him because he's thinking that anyway, this guy is a Brahman. And anyway, he comes every day to my court. Not that every time I have to get up. I can avoid getting up also once. Doesn't make a big difference. It's not something which should be we should discuss so much seriously like that. He's thinking. So then Brahaspati understands that yes, this is the mood of my disciple. Now he is thinking that he has become big man. So therefore Brahaspati leaves. And Brahaspati doesn't curse him. It's a very important point. He doesn't curse him, he just leaves. So we may think, oh, at least Indra did not get cursed. He And then in the end of this chapter, you will see that he had to undergo long austerities and very severe austerities to actually come back and take his position along with his spiritual master, take his position. He had to undergo a long set of austerities. And in between, so many things happened which are not so pleasant. So the spiritual master punishing a disciple for his mistake is much better than the spiritual master simply ignoring the mistake of the disciple. Because if the spiritual master ignores the mistake of the disciple, then the disciple has to go through a longer correction process than the spiritual master punishes him. Because then Krishna is satisfied, okay, he got punished by his spiritual master. So now this guy has come to senses. So he will move forward. He'll be nicely situated. I don't have to so much worry about it. His punishment has been given. But ignoring, then Krishna has to take him to a long roller coaster ride till he comes to his senses. So, therefore, we'll find that Brahaspati simply ignored his disciple. He just left him. Like, okay, you are too puffed up. I don't want to be. Just left. And then Indra, he tried to search for his spiritual master, but he could not find him. So therefore, taking advantage of Indra's weak position, then the demons defeated him. And Indra, he went to Brahma, and Brahma actually gave him an idea that you go and then you take Vishwarup as your priest. Vishwarup was Tvashta's son. And Tvashta is a demigod. But Tvashta's wife was a demon. So Vishwarup was like half here, half there. So Brahma warned Indra that sometimes because of his mother-side relationship, he may be a little soft on demigods. But never mind, he will be able to help. So like that he went, and then Vishnu gave him the Narayana Kavacha, and Indra took the Narayana Kavacha, and then he with that Narayana Kavacha he went and fought the battle, and he was able to defeat all the demons, and they were very happy. But things were not very smooth, as Indra was thinking, because Vishnu he started offering secret oblations to the demons. So therefore Indra killed him, because he became very afraid. So he killed his own spiritual master. And then whatever sinful reactions came out of it, he distributed it to the woman, he distributed to water, he distributed to earth. Like that, he distributed his sinful reactions to different entities. And he also gave them some boons in exchange of accepting that sin. He also gave them some boons. Then after that, again, Indra was defeated by Vritrasura. Then Indra went to, because Tvashta, he became very angry that Indra killed his son. So therefore, from the sacrificial fire, he manifested Vritrasura, and he told Vritrasura, go and kill Indra. So Vritrasura also agreed. But he was not Indra's enemy. So therefore, he fought dutifully with Indra, and then Vritrasura's expertise was so great that nobody could stand in front of him. So therefore, finally, so the Lord gave him some idea, and then he went and executed that idea half-heartedly, and he faced many consequences due to that. And then finally, with Vritrasura, he went back to God. So this is more or less the overview of this unit. So in the beginning, we are going to see the arrogance of Indra. Okay, so please read the translations. Please read the translations one by one. Who is reading? Anybody's reading?
Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadev Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods Brahaspati reject the demigods who were his own disciples? What offense did the demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident.
Okay, next. Keep reading.
Sri Goswami said, O king, once upon a time the king of heaven, Indra, being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three worlds, transgressed the law of Vedic etiquettes.
Yeah.
Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by the Maruts, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Vibhus, Vishwadevs, Sathyas, Ashwani Kumaras, Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, and by great saintly persons. All surrounding him were the Vidyadharas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Patagas, birds, and Uragas, snakes. All of them were offering Indra their respects and services, and the Apsaras and Gandharvas were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella as effulgent as the full moon, framed by yak tail, whisk, and served with all the paraphernalia of the great king. Indra was sitting with his wife Sachi Devi, who who occupied half the throne when the great sage Brihaspati appeared in that assembly. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods and was respected by the demigods and demons alike. Nevertheless, although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to his spiritual master, nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect.
Okay, next.
Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home.
Next.
Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly.
Alas,
Okay, next.
what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulences. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered this assembly, and thus I have insulted him.
Next.
Although I am king of demigods who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemned my wealth and opulence.
Okay, next.
The person says, one who is situated on the exalted throne of king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a Brahman. It is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles.
Okay, next.
Leaders who
Leaders
have
who have
fallen into
fallen
ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in previous verse, in effect boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people go to hell and their followers go with them.
Yeah. So now the same topic is coming up. The topic of going to hell is coming up. Okay. So how does one go to hell? By disrespecting his spiritual master, one goes to hell. So this is being very clearly told by Indra that they glide down the path to hell. Okay. Next, please continue.
Jia Mataji.
King Indra said, Therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, because he is in in the mode of goodness, he is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of the Brahmanas. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him to try to satisfy.
Okay, next. Next one, please.
While Indra, the king of demigods, thought in this way and repented in his own assembly, Brihaspati, the most powerful spiritual master, understood his mind. Thus he became invisible to Indra and left home, for Brihaspati was spiritually more powerful than King Indra.
Yeah, next.
Although Indra searched vigorously with the assistance of the other demigods, he could not find Brihaspati. Then Indra thought, alas, my spiritual master has become dissatisfied with me, and now I have no means of achieving good fortune. Although Indra was surrounded by demigods, he could not find peace of mind.
Okay, next.
Hearing
Hearing of the pitiable condition of King Indra, the demon, following the instructions of their guru, Shankaracharya, equipped themselves with the weapons and declared war against the demigod.
Not Shankaracharya, Shukracharya. Okay, next.
The demigod heads, thighs, and arms, and the other parts of their bodies were injured by the sharp arrows of the demons. The demigods, headed by Indra, saw no other cause than to immediately approach Lord Brahma with bowed heads for shelter and proper instruction.
Okay. So now they will go to Brahma and then Brahma will instruct them. So after this past time has been explained that how a how Indra got into trouble by insulting Brihaspati. So what is the offense which Indra did with respect to his guru?
It is very simple. Whenever we have darshan of our spiritual master, first of all, we should pay obeisances in a loud voice. And he didn't do so.
So why he didn't do so?
Because he was puffed up with the with his opulence or wealth or the things which the respect he was getting from other.
Okay. So that is one reason. What could be the other reason?
He was thinking that he was even bigger than his spiritual master.
Hmm?
He was even bigger than his spiritual master, great than I'm a king.
Yes. Yeah. So he considered his spiritual master as an ordinary person. So amongst ordinary persons, then somebody is bigger, somebody is smaller. One person may consider himself as bigger to other person. So this competition about who is bigger, who is smaller, the spiritual master is another ordinary person. And he got so much puffed up by his opulence. And then he insulted his spiritual master. So what practical lessons we can draw from this behavior of Indra?
What's that?
What practical lessons we can draw from this behavior of Indra?
That we should not commit the third offense to see the spiritual master as an ordinary person, and we should always pay him obeisance. And
Okay, somebody else. What lesson we can learn from this whole incident?
Indeed, I think we should always treat our spiritual master as the representative of the God and never underestimate him.
Okay. What other lesson we can learn from this? Somebody else. There are many lessons we can learn from this pastime. So just let us try to churn few lessons. What other lesson we can learn from this pastime?
Pride precedes fall.
It's a very, very important lesson we have to learn.
We can bring all havoc in our life by displeasing Guru.
Yeah. Now let us discuss a little bit about this particular point, which was said about pride. That when we become proud in our spiritual life, then that will actually bring our downfall. Now, was there a reason for Indra to become proud? Was there a reason for Indra to become proud?
Material opulences?
Okay,
Post and position.
post and position. He
Uh,
always had material opulence. He always had post and position. He did not become proud. So here, what was the difference?
The
What was the
praises that he
difference?
was getting in the assembly project,
What is that?
the praises that he was getting in the assembly, everybody praising him, worshipping him, and he was sitting on the throne, and he did not realize that his spiritual master has come and he needs to, provide
No. He
proper
very much
respect.
realized that his spiritual master came. It is not that he did not realize. But the first part was right. That he was always Indra. He always had the opulence. He always had the power. But in this particular case, the difference was he was getting praised by the various denizens of the heavenly planet, like the Gandharvas, the Vidyadharas, the different people, the different other demigods. They were all praising him. And that words of praise, it entered his head, and then he became very puffed up. So that similar thing happened to us. Do people praise us in devotional service? When we perform devotional service, do we get some appreciation?
Yes.
Do we get or we don't get?
Yes, we get.
How many of you don't get any appreciation? I'm doing so much service, nobody appreciates me. Is there somebody like that in this group? I want to see. Is there someone like that? Oh, Prabhuji, what are you talking? Nobody appreciates me. Is there someone like that? Huh? I don't see any hand going up. So everybody is getting a lot of appreciation. So getting a lot of appreciation is good or bad?
Bad.
So
No, Prabhuji, it is always good. Getting appreciation is the human nature. Every human wants that one should be praised, but it should not be gone to the heads. That's the point.
And
okay,
Prabhuji, we should transfer that glory to our Guru Maharaj to get protected from that pride which comes from praise.
yeah. Now you went one step forward. So
That
it is good. You went one step forward. We are still discussing the previous step, but you already went to the conclusion. So that is good. That's very nice. But still, let us discuss that previous step a little bit more. So, Rukmini Harisavini Mataji said that getting glorification is bad, and somebody else said getting glorification is good. So now, yeah, Amrendra Hari Prabhu said getting glorification is good. Now, let us deal with this little bit more. Getting glorification is good or bad? Anybody else?
Can I say something?
What is that?
Uh, it is bad if I taken it to myself, but if I don't bother by it, then it is good. That
What
because
is the
I know
use if you don't
that
get bothered by it? If you
because
don't
I
get
know
bothered
that
by it,
intelligence
what difference it makes? Doesn't make any difference because you're not bothered by it. So
because
then whether
if I know that whatever I'm able to do, that is energy and intelligence is of Krishna, then I will not get bought by it. But in the beginning stage, yes, it was really bad if I was taking it at my own. Two things.
okay. Okay, let's hear from somebody else. I want to know that. Huh?
Prabhuji, we were not able to hear you, sorry.
No, I wanted to hear from somebody else also that whether hearing glorification is good or bad.
Priya
Prabhuji,
Satyabhama.
I totally agree with Amrendra Hari Prabhuji. Like Amrendra Hari Prabhu wrote in the chat that it's for the encouragement. So it's the human nature to get appreciation. Actually, unless and until you get some words of praise from someone or the higher in authority, then how can we be, uh, you
Yeah.
know, how can we come to the stage where we would try, we would aspire for doing more and more better? But yes, definitely, it should not go to our heads. We should always be alert for that also.
Okay. What about Radhakrishna Prabhu? What do you say, Prabhuji? Appreciation अच्छा है या नहीं है?
Really, there are two things.
Yeah.
Glorification has two aspects, two
Okay.
sides.
Okay.
He must be glorified,
Okay.
but devotee should not take glorification. He should always give it to Guru, and then through Guru, it goes to Krishna.
Okay.
It is not for self-consumption. It is like a hot potato which you take and pass on to your Guru, and then it goes to Krishna.
Okay. Now we got one more analogy. Hot potato. Garam aloo.
Yes, man.
Okay. So why do you say that it is like hot potato?
Because in case you take it, then it will increase your ego and won't make you humble, and it will feel you that you are the dough and you are not the dough. It is being done by the Prakriti. But in case you say, I have done it, that is wrong. You are nobody.
Okay. Okay. So how much we should depend on our encouragement on the glorification which we receive? How much we should depend on that for our encouragement? Because two devotees said that it's very important for our for us to remain encouraged. How much we should depend on it? So Gita Krishna Prabhu, you have some views on it. How much we should depend on devotees glorifying us to remain encouraged in Krishna consciousness?
Some glorification is okay, because that gives you the impetus to do better and better. But as everybody has said that it should not go to one's head, because his glorification is not because of his accomplishment, but whatever he has done from his from his guru, from the acharyas, it is because of them that he has acquired these attributes, which are being
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So anybody else wants to say something about it?
Prabhuji, can I say something?
Yeah. I have been
Prabhuji,
asking people should say something.
प्रभु जी जैसे ये अभी आपने पूछा कि ग्लोरिफिकेशन अच्छी है कि बुरी है, तो प्रभु जी आई फील लाइक कि ये तो क्वेश्चन ही नहीं होता कि अच्छी है या बुरी है ग्लोरिफिकेशन, क्योंकि अगर कोई अच्छा कर रहा है डिवोटी तो उसको अगर कोई अप्रिशिएट कर रहा है तो ये सच है, ठीक है। अगर कोई नहीं कर रहा, उसको कोई भी अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर रहा, और दूसरा हमारा जो है फोकस उस पर थोड़ी इतना होता है, हमारा तो यही होता है कि हमें सेवा देनी है, कृष्णा को जो है प्लीज करना, उसके लिए हम कर रहे हैं, तो उसके उस बीच में ग्लोरिफिकेशन आ रही है तो आ रही है, उससे इग्नोर करके आगे चले जाना है। बाकी ग्लोरिफिकेशन अच्छी है बुरी बुरी है, इससे थोड़ा सा इसको थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करें, क्योंकि ये समझ नहीं आ रहा।
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mother. Yes.
Thank you for taking up this topic. It's true that glorification motivates, but that glorification, that praise is, yes, it gives us encouragement. But sometimes from the back say it gets into our head too, and personally, I don't know how to deal with it. It's
Okay.
get into the head.
Okay, good. So now you are taking it to one important level forward, which is important for us.
Prabhuji,
So that brings us. Yes,
this is
Prabhuji.
covered under third verse of the Shikshastra, Amanina Mandi.
Yeah, but that is very high now, Prabhuji. Now we are still working with whether glorification is required or not. Okay, now we have two hands up. So, Daruka Krishna Prabhu. Yes, please, Prabhuji.
So for a beginning stage, if for a new devotees, we encourage that, oh, you chanted one round. It really
Yeah.
gives the encouragement, and it required at that point of time to do
Yeah.
the glorification of one round chanting or being coming in the temple for whatever once in a week or this thing. Later
Correct.
on, if we hear the glorification for other devotees, it is very much required because
Okay.
it's gives a jar to us so that we should follow that kind of devotee, and we should also do our seva very nicely, which pleasing the
Okay.
other devotees. And for
Okay.
personal self, definitely as we are part and parcel of Krishna, so everybody likes to hear the glorification as Krishna likes it. But our
Okay.
aim should be that already given by teachings to the Lord, by Lord Chaitanya, that Amanina Manadena. But definitely, as you said, that we are far away from this. So we should
Yeah.
try to give it these glorifications to our guru or seniors. And
Okay.
maybe one day we'll reach to that level also. And if by glorification, it gives clarification, or we can say that yes, we are doing our services right way, correctly. So for that reason also, it's the glorification of praises are needed.
Okay. Okay, good. Nice analysis. So let us hear from Manohar Vijay Prabhu. His hand is also
Hare
up.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Vaidhana
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, it is, all the points have been already been covered by all the devotees. But one point from my experience, I see that in when we are newly joined ISKCON and we start doing the services, then we look for some glorification. And when the glorification don't come, it is like hammer on our head, and it's like make us think like, yeah, this is not for you. And if the glorification don't come, sometime if it don't come, it is in our favor, and we start thinking that, hey, don't do this for myself, don't do this for myself, it's not, it is hammer on my head now, so let's do it for our Guru Maharaj. Let's do it for. So sometimes glorification is not coming is also good for us. From my experience, I could feel it. We were like dying for glorification in initial stages, and then when it don't come, it's like, oh, what is happening? So we our paradigm shifting starts, from there. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. So yeah, I want to just wrap up with some concluding remarks. Unless somebody else has to say something. Yes, Mataji, yes, please. Anandlila Mataji. Yes.
I would just want to add that too little of anything is also not good, and too much of something is also not good. So, I mean, I think appreciation, it's not just only the newcomers or something that they are expecting, even those who have served for longer years. Appreciation is expected. In your, so that's there at each step in our devotional service. Yeah, I mean, I feel it should be balanced. Like, if it's too much or it's too little. If it's too little, the person could be demotivated or discouraged. And if it's too much, also it makes that person puffed up. So that's because you are wanting to discuss only this first step, that not go beyond. Like, is it good or bad? So that's the answer. Like, I feel like it should be,
Okay,
balanced.
thank you, Mataji. Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice. Neither too little, not too much. It's like Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita, "Iktahara vihara sita chetasya karmash." Everything in its correct volume is always very good. So anyway, so I want to make some concluding remarks on this important topic. And then after I make my remarks, then still if there are some questions, then we can discuss. It's not a problem. It's not that concluding remark means then we should not discuss. I just want to try to wrap up this whole discussion. So, like Taraka Krishna Prabhu was explaining and others explaining that in the beginning of our devotional service, this glorification is very much necessary because why it is necessary, I wanted to just dwell on that point. Because in general, in this material world, when we are not devotees, we are driven by Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Tamoguna is useless. Rajoguna makes us to do some activity. But acting in Rajoguna is conditional. What is the condition? The condition is that we are looking for fame. We are looking for distinction. We are looking for fame. So, therefore, one of the motivations of Rajoguna is fame and distinction or adoration or distinction is one of the motives of Rajoguna. So since we are acting in Rajoguna, then we bring that same mentality into devotional service. So therefore, we do something and then we are looking for some adoration, some distinction. We want to be recognized that, oh, I gave some donation. I should be called, I should be given a garland, I should be recognized. Or I did something, then people should speak something nice about me. So this kind of thing is there. And this is natural because we are in Rajoguna. So therefore, this is natural. Therefore, devotees who are coming to Krishna consciousness, they should be nicely glorified and encouraged to do their service. Because that is the way they will do their service. But as we do our service, we should also get purified. That is an important point. And that purification means that that purification to take us from Rajoguna to Sattva-guna. So that is a very important thing. So in Sattva-guna, what is the motivation to do? In Rajoguna, very different. What is the motivation and motivation Sattva-guna? The motivation in Sattva-guna is that self-purification. The motivation in Sattva-guna is to avoid sinful activities. The motivation in Sattva-guna is to remove the inabilities in activities. So the complete motivation and to be dutiful, the complete motivation in Sattva-guna is different. So there, in the Sattva-guna platform, the glorification or the encouragement or appreciation is not a must. It may be there, it may not be there. It stops affecting the devotee. It's not a must because in Sattva-guna, the devotee is able to understand that I am doing devotional service for my own good. I need it. I need devotional service. Devotional service doesn't need me. So in Rajoguna, the mood is that devotional service needs me. Means that temple needs me. This particular service needs me. This particular activity, nothing will happen. You have done a great job. You have done some nice thing. We are looking for that recognition because that very nature is coming from Rajoguna. But when we get purified and when we move to Sattva-guna, then we start understanding, oh, serving Krishna is my duty. Whether somebody realizes or doesn't realize, I should serve Krishna to the best of my capacity. Because it is between me and Krishna. It's not between me and 10,000 people who are seeing what I'm doing. It's just between me and Krishna. So, therefore, I should do my duty very nicely because it is my duty. This is my way for purification, and this is how I get purified. So, for my own good, Natya Viduhu Swartha Vishnu, Prahlad Maharaj says, these people don't know that their self-interest lies in serving Vishnu. So then, when we don't know, then we require encouragement, we require glorification. Like, for example, if we are having a life-threatening disease, we don't require encouragement to take our medicine, nor we are looking for glorification to eat our medicine. That, wow, today you ate your medicine, so great you are such a nice person, you ate the medicine very nicely. We are not looking for all these things. We know that if we don't eat this medicine, then things are not going to work for us. So therefore, on our own accord, we are eating the medicine. And one day, if we miss the medicine, we become very worried. Oh, today I didn't eat the medicine. I don't know what is going to happen to me. I should have ate the medicine. Maybe it is going to create some reaction for me. Maybe something will happen to me. So we are worried that we didn't eat the medicine. It's not that we are thinking, oh, nobody glorified me, so why should I eat the medicine? Or we are not thinking that, oh, nobody is noticing me eating the medicine and appreciating me. So it's okay if I skip the medicine today. We're not thinking like that. Rather, we are thinking that missing this medicine has been a mistake. I should do this, I should do that. We try. So the whole mood changes when we come to Sattva-guna. When we come to Sattva-guna, the whole mood changes. That in Sattva-guna, we understand that recognize me, etc. Because this is my survival. If I have to survive, I should do devotional service. My survival depends on this. My very existence depends on this. So we come to that kind of mood in Sattva-guna. But better than Sattva-guna is the transcendental stage, where one does everything because one loves Krishna. Because there is the motivation is simply the love for the spiritual master and love for Krishna. There is no other motivation. There's not even motivation of self-purification. There's not even motivation of other things. It's simply because I do it because I like Krishna and Krishna likes it, so therefore I will do it. So then that platform is the highest platform where one is simply able to operate out of love. So now one may say, what is wrong with Rajoguna? The problem with Rajoguna is that you will not be able to sustain. Because the very nature of this material world is that people will not keep on glorifying you. That sometimes people will glorify you, and sometimes they will criticize. So, and sometimes they will heavily criticize. So if our motivation to act in Krishna consciousness is simply Rajoguna, then when we come to the situation where we are getting criticized or we are getting heavily criticized, instead of doing our service, we just leave our service. We'll go away from our service because we will not find the encouragement to carry on with our service. So therefore, or we will do some sinful activity. Means that the person who is criticizing us will try to harm him. We try to do some politics, or we try to do some things because the person who is we start seeing the person who criticizes us as our enemy. Oh, this person is my enemy. He doesn't want me to do my service. So therefore, let me do something to him. We start thinking like that. So Rajoguna is the next door neighbor to sin. And in Rajoguna, we can easily do sin. We can knowingly do sin. not only easily do sin, we can also knowingly do sin. This is what Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, in the end, when Arjuna is asking that why a person knowingly does sin. Krishna says that by the influence of Rajoguna, one knowingly does sin. So therefore, when Kapila is discussing about Bhakti, which is influenced by the 3 modes, which is in the 3rd canto, if you remember, in your previous unit, you have studied this. Then there is a whole discussion on the 4th canto about Bhakti in 3 modes. There is Daksha, there is Dhruva, and then there is Prithu Maharaj. So then we see the different effects of Bhakti, which is done in ignorance and passion and goodness. We see the effects of the different types of Bhakti. That what makes us to look for this recognition. And we should try to see that how to go from Bhakti, which is influenced by Rajoguna, to Bhakti, which is at least in Sattva. So this is something which we should think about, because here also we see that Indra was overtaken by Rajoguna, and the immediate effect of Indra getting overtaken by Rajoguna was that he committed offense, that he considered his spiritual master as an ordinary person. He failed to respect his spiritual master. Hey, sloka. He failed to respect his spiritual master, and then he got into so much trouble. So therefore, it's a important lesson that we get in the very beginning of this pastime, that what is the effect of depending on glorification, or depending on encouragement, or depending on recognition to perform devotional service. Okay, any comments, questions, or clarifications? Anything? Or some counter thoughts, whatever.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this gives us encouragement that whatever the service I am doing in the right way.
Can you repeat?
Prabhuji, when somebody gives an encouragement, so it's give me surety that yes, whatever I'm doing for the devotional services, I'm doing it in a right way.
Yeah, okay, but that is good. That is fine. But you should not depend only on that encouragement. There are different ways of finding out that whatever you are doing is right or not. Sometimes you may not be doing something drastically wrong, but you may not be doing your best also. Still, people may encourage you. Like you may be trying to do some very simple thing. Like my spiritual master, Vishwanath Japta Goswami Maharaj, he said that when he came to Krishna consciousness for the first time, he met His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. And Jayananda Prabhu that time was building a Rath Yatra cart. And Jayananda Prabhu told my spiritual master to hammer a nail. Told him to hammer a nail. So then he hammered that nail. Tok, 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 tok. And then Jayananda Prabhu said, "Oh, you have done so nicely to hammer the nail. You have done such a nice nail hammering. You are the best nail hammerer in the world." Something like that. He glorified him. Okay. So sometimes it may happen like that, that we may do very simple things and the devotees may glorify us like anything. But we should not think that, oh, they are glorifying, so whatever I'm doing is all right, I should just continue to do this. We should also look for, whether we are doing it properly, whether doing it in the right way, and then try to see how to improve it constantly. These things we should always look for. Just because devotees are saying, "Oh, you are the best cook," sometimes they may say, "Oh, you are the best cook." It doesn't mean that you have now reached myself and then only Radharani is there. After that, there's nobody else is there. Because I've been told that I'm the best cook. So then there is no need for me to worry anymore about my cooking. No, we should constantly try to learn. We should constantly try to improve. We should constantly try to see how we can do our service better. Then we will see how much we have to improve, right? No, then we'll find that, oh, these people who are telling me that I am the best cook, they were just telling me so that I could get encouraged in doing my service. Okay. So that is also another important thing which we should think that. And also the other way of understanding that whether we are doing our service properly or not is to approach devotees who are senior to us and then inquire about the quality of our service and how we can improve. If you go and ask them, "Am I doing my service very nicely? Are you happy?" Naturally, they'll say, yes, you're doing your service very nicely. I'm very happy with it. But if you go and ask them that how I can improve my service, then they may say that, yes, okay, you do this better, you do that better. Right? So therefore, there is also a danger in thinking that, okay, people are encouraging me, people are glorifying me, so that means I'm going the right direction. There's also some danger in thinking like that. It may become an impediment in trying to do our service better. Does it make sense? Does it make sense or no? Mataji?
Jagat Mata Shachi Mataji. You can please unmute yourself.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay. So Rukmini has to say something. Yes, Rukmini has to say this.
Prabhuji, one thing was coming in my mind because the path of bhakti is totally dependent on the mercy of the Vaishnava. So
Correct.
when we serve, we serve and we I'm in back of the mind we think that we are doing the just to please Guru and Gauranga. So now if the senior devotee is praising us or like we don't want praise from other devotees, but it's like sometimes it's like that we get the praise from senior devotee, it's like getting their mercy. So is it how to discriminate between that? Yes, I don't want that praise from anyone. I don't bother whatever.
No. It is not like that. See, whatever comes from Vaishnava, we should treat it with respect. Okay. So we should not think that I don't want your glorification. I don't bother. We cannot say like that. So if some Vaishnava says something about some nice things, nice words about what we are doing, whether they are senior or junior or middle or whatever it is, we should respectfully take it and then pass it to Guru and Krishna. Prabhu was saying that hot potato. So why that example of hot potato is given? Because if you keep the hot potato for 1 second in your hand, then your hand will burn. So the best way to handle hot potato is to just give it off. So that's what we should do. So, but that should be respectfully given off. We should thank the person who is trying to encourage us. by saying some respectful words. Oh, I understand that you are trying to encourage me. I'm very indebted to you for being kind on me and trying to encourage me like that. We should say some words which are which shows respect to him, and then we should take it. We should take it. We should pass the glory to Guru. And there is also in third canto there is a very interesting exchange which takes place between Kardama and Swayambhu Manu. So Kardama glorifies Swayambhu Manu. Okay. If you read the conversation between Kardama and Swayambhu Manu, Kardama glorifies Swayambhu Manu. But how does Swayambhu Manu accept that glorification? Anybody remembers? How does he accept that glorification? How did Swayambhu Manu react to Kardama's glorification? Anybody remembers? Anybody remembers? Nobody remembers.
Does it be like he said that this is like the service has given to me. I'm just performing my duty, my service.
No, he said that this is the instruction I have received from you. Even though Kardama was glorifying him, Swayambhu Manu received it as instruction. He said, this is the instruction which I am receiving from you. He said, now I understand what is the duty of a king and how a king should perform his duties. So now I will try to perform my duties according to your instruction. This is what he said. So this is also another way of accepting the glorification as instruction. And the same thing we see with Prithu also. When Suta, Magadha and Vandi, they are glorifying the activities of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is saying that you are saying so many things, but I have not performed these activities till now. So therefore, I don't accept this glorification presently. So when I would perform these activities and when I'm successful in these activities, till the time I accept them simply as things which I'm supposed to do, as the duty which I'm supposed to do. So therefore, like someone was asking, we don't know how to handle this glorification. It comes in our way. One way of handling this glorification is to take it as hot potato and then give it to Guru and Krishna. The other way of accepting is to accept it more as an instruction that, this is what is expected out of me. So that is also one way of looking at it. So it should not be ignored. That's why I was previously also somebody said we can ignore it. I said, no, we cannot ignore it. It should be treated respectfully, but it should not. It should be handled also properly, and we should not be dependent on the encouragement or on the recognition for carrying on our services. Yes, Mataji. Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Nandanam.
Yeah,
So
Pranam.
Prabhuji, I attended a class in Vrindavan, and there was this Prabhu who gave a very nice class. And at the end
Okay.
of the class, a devotee, there was a question answer session going on, and a devotee raises his hand, and Prabhuji says, yes, please. And he asks his question, and at the end of it, he says, you gave a very beautiful class. Who's your Guru Maharaj? So Prabhuji asked, what do you want to know? He said, you're a very good disciple. We would like to know who's your Guru Maharaj. He said, I don't need to tell you that. So my question here is, we are saying that, glorification should be passed on to your Guru. But that Prabhu said, I don't need to tell. So I'm a little confused, and this question has been bugging me since forever. So can you please answer this?
Yeah, but in between that, after that, you said that the devotee said you gave a very good class, so you're a good disciple. So I want to know who is your guru. After that, for 1 minute, the whole line got disconnected. So if you can repeat, sorry.
So that Prabhu said, I don't need to tell you that, because the Shastra says that you should keep your guru, your beads, and I think couple of things undercover. So I don't need to answer you. That was the answer of the Prabhu. So how do we, go about it? Because we are saying that we need to pass on the glorification to the Guru. So do we need to take it? Do we not need to take it? Do we just need to leave it there?
Yeah, in general, in ISKCON, it is generally, or even in devotional life, it's generally not understood to be a good etiquette to publicly ask who is your Guru. It's not a proper etiquette to publicly ask who is your Guru. Now, one may say that you gave a very good class, I want to know who is your Guru. To extend the same logic, one may say you gave a very bad class, I want to know who is your Guru. Okay. So, a disciple giving a good class or bad class does not reflect on the Guru. He just reflects on the disciple. Okay. The Guru may be a great personality and the disciple may still give a bad class. Or the Guru may be a good personality and then the disciple may give a good class. So, in this, publicly to bring the Guru into picture is not a proper etiquette. If at all, if he wanted to know, he could have asked in private that I want to know who is your Guru. All these things he could have asked in private. Not sitting in Bhagavatam class, okay, tell me who is your Guru. Okay, why to bring Guru into the picture here? Of course, everyone knows that whatever we are speaking is coming simply from the Guru. And we are all acknowledging Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulanga Tegri Mittupatamaham Mandi Shigurum Tarinam. All these things we are saying, and we are acknowledging that everything is coming from Guru, all those things we are doing. But at the same time, to publicly ask such a question, this could be a wrong precedent. Like I said, that then somebody may reflect on a bad class and then conclude that your Guru is bad. So these are not to be done. These are very improper etiquette. There's no proper understanding of etiquette. So, of course, the devotee gave a straightforward answer. Also, they could, give a nice answer also. It depends on the devotee. That
Thank you.
But there's
Guruji.
nothing wrong in what he said. Okay. So if you're saying something, you're muted. I don't know. I don't know if you're saying something or not.
And thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So in conclusion, that it's natural for us to get glorified for various services. But our services should not be dependent on such glorification or recognition. We should try to take such glorification or recognition more as an instruction to do better. And we should try to pass on that glorification or recognition to the spiritual master. And we should try to at least raise ourselves to mode of goodness. So this is more or less the summary of this particular discussion. Okay. So to go to the next point, if everyone is happy with this discussion and whatever has happened. There are also a few points which I wanted to point out in this from this past time, few other points. That we should understand that the spiritual master is not subject to the whims of the disciple. Spiritual master is entirely independent. He is as independent. Nobody can force the spiritual master to give his mercy, we should understand that he's a very independent person, because he is Sakshat Hari. He is as independent as Krishna in giving his mercy. And this is what we see here in Indra's pastime, that even though Indra regretted, that regret was not complete, or it did not come from his heart. It did not come from his realization. It simply came from his knowledge. And it also came from his sense of fear. That regret came from his sense of fear. It did not come through some proper realization. So therefore, here, even though Indra was trying to find Brihaspati, Brihaspati made himself unavailable to Indra, because the spiritual master is independent in the matter of giving his mercy to his disciple. So Brihaspati decided that, this guy, he needs some more lessons. He needs to go through some more experiences to understand the exact his own situation. So for his own good, Brihaspati, he did not immediately appear after Indra regretted. He just remained unavailable to Indra. So this is one point. The second point is that Indra was thinking that he is maintaining Brihaspati. He's a Brahman, he is dependent on Indra, and he is giving all the facilities, and he is maintaining Brihaspati. And it looks so also. But actually, Brihaspati, he just made himself unavailable to Indra, and he was very happy. He was not with Indra, but he was quite happy. He was doing his own thing, whatever he was doing. So that's another important point we have to understand, that it may look as if that the spiritual master is dependent on his disciples for his maintenance. But it is not to be so, that sometimes somebody may think that, he is spiritual master, he has so many disciples, and so many disciples are giving so much money, and he is very happily living with all that money. So one may think like, so spiritual master is good business, that I can do spiritual master business. I can have many disciples, I can get a lot of money, I can live nicely. One can think like that. But the spiritual master is completely independent, and he is not dependent on the disciple. So what looks like the services which the spiritual master is accepting from the disciple is simply for the sake of the disciple himself. Is not for the sake of the spiritual master. It's simply for the sake of disciple himself that he accepts various services from the disciple, so that the disciples can get some opportunity to serve the spiritual master. So when Prabhupada was asked that why are you making such a huge temple, about the temple of Vedic planetarium, Prabhupada said, as far as we are concerned, we are happy with the tree. We can sleep under the tree. But we need this temple to reach to the world. So the spiritual master's mood is very different in accepting the services of the disciple, in dealing with the disciple, in encouraging the disciple. In all these things, the spiritual master's mood is very, very different. So therefore, we should not be carried away by this neophyte mentality that the spiritual master is getting maintained by the disciples. That's a pure neophyte mentality. Should not get carried away by this neophyte mentality. Okay, so these are few things we wanted to discuss in this section. So can we read the further translations, please?
When the most powerful Lord Brahma saw the demigods coming toward him, their bodies gravely injured by the arrows of the demons, he pacified them by his great causeless mercy and spoke as follows.
Okay, next.
Lord Brahma said, O best of demigods, unfortunately, because of madness resulting from your material opulence, you failed to receive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly. Because he is aware of the supreme Brahman, and fully in control of his senses, he is the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted prudently toward him.
Okay, next.
Because of your misbehavior toward Brihaspati, you have been defeated by the demons. My dear demigods, since the demons were weak, having been defeated by you several times, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them?
Oh, Indra, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of their disrespect towards Shukracharya. But since they have now worshipped Shukracharya with great devotion, they have again become powerful. By their devotion to Shukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me.
Okay, next. Okay, next, please.
Because of your firm determination to follow the instructions of Shukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. In fact, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, and who always worship, these three are always strong in their position.
Okay, next.
O demigods, I instruct you to approach Vishwarup, the son of Twast, and accept him as your guru. He is a pure and very powerful Brahmana undergoing austerity and penance. Pleased by your worship, he will fulfill your desires, provided that you tolerate his being inclined to side with the demons.
Yeah, so now he gave them a remedy, but he also gave them some warning that you see, this guy will help you, but he has some inclination towards the demons. So he gave them a remedy and he gave them a warning. Okay, please continue.
O demigods, I instruct you to approach Vishwarupa, the son of Twashta, and accept him as your guru. He is a pure and very powerful Brahmana undergoing
We already
austerity
read this
and penances.
translation. Okay, next.
Srila Shukadev Goswami continued, thus advised by Lord Brahma and relieved of their anxiety, all the demigods went to the sage Vishwarupa, the son of Twashta. By their king, they embraced him and spoke as follows. Actually, my
Okay.
internet connection dropped. That's I just repeated the same words.
Okay, next.
The demigod said, Beloved Vishwarup, may there be all good fortune for you. We, the demigods, have come to you, to your ashram as your guests. Please try to fulfill our desires according to time, since we are on the level of your parents.
Okay.
Samara.
Next.
The highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents. And what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari?
Okay, next.
The Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother King Indra, a mother the planet Earth, and a sister Mercy. A guest personifies religious principles. An invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay, next.
Dear son, we have been defeated by our enemies and therefore we are very much aggrieved. Please mercifully fulfill our desires by relieving our distress through the strength of your austerities. Please fulfill our prayers.
Okay, next.
Since you are completely aware of the Supreme Brahm, you are a perfect Brahman. And therefore, you are the spiritual master of all orders of life. We accept you as our spiritual master and director so that by the power of your austerity, we may easily defeat the enemies who have conquered us.
Okay, next.
I guess Ananila Mataji.
The demigods continued, "Do not fear criticism for being younger than us. Such etiquette does not apply in regard to Vedic mantras. Except in relationship to Vedic mantras, seniority is determined by age, but one may offer respectful obeisances even to a younger person who is advancing in chanting Vedic mantras. Therefore, although you are junior in relationship to us, you may become our priest without hesitation."
So now in this connection, there was a very sweet pastime here in Mayapur. So Janyas Prabhu, he completed his 75 years. And then there was a big yajna for that. Recently, there was some big yajna for that. And the yajna was done in the morning. I was also there, not 75, 80 years. So the big yajna was there. And the priest did the yajna. I came later. I was there, and Janyas Prabhu came. His family was also there. Then after the yajna was done, then the priests who did the yajna, they all came. And so the main priest was Krishna Chaitanya. And then there were many Gurukul boys along with him who participated in the yajna. And there were some other devotees who were also in the part of yajna. Participated means who did the yajna. So then Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu said that even though you are very, very senior to us, but since we have done the yajna as Brahmanas, so now, and this part of the yajna, we have to offer you some blessings as Brahmanas. So we want your permission to offer blessings to you. Then he also said, yes, yes, yes. Then they all offered him blessings by chanting some mantra. So there were small boys, and he's such an exalted Vaishnava. And he was accepting blessings from these small boys simply because they did Brahmanical duty. So this is the position of a Brahmana. So here also the demigods are saying the same thing, that even though we are like your father and you are like son, but because you are a qualified Brahmana, then there's no harm in you offering blessings to us and we paying obeisances to you. There's no harm. Of course, after they finished offering their blessings, they all fell at Janyas Prabhu's feet and then they accepted his blessings, which is the proper thing to do. They showed him proper respect and then they fell at his feet and then they accepted his blessings. But I was just remembering that such sweet exchange which happened. And the concept was same, that because they were Brahmanas who did some yajna, part of their yajnic duty was to offer blessings to the Yajaman. So they offered blessings to Janyas Prabhu. So the same thing is being pointed out here, that the demigods are saying to Vishwarupa that there's no harm in doing your duty. So you should accept your duty and then you should do it. That's what they're saying. Okay, please continue. Yes, Mataji, you had something to ask?
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji, I want to ask. Prabhuji,
Yeah.
here Brahmaji asked demigods to approach Vishwarupa. Why not Brihaspati? As he said,
Yeah.
yes, because as he said that the demons defeated them because initially they disrespect their guru, Shukracharya, and because of that they were defeated by the demigods. And now they are worshipping him with devotion and all. So they are able to defeat the demigods. So why Brahmaji asked them to approach Vishwarupa? Why not Brihaspati again?
Because they already approached Brihaspati and Brihaspati made himself unavailable. So it's very clear that Brihaspati is not in a mood to even present himself to them. So what is the question of approaching him if they cannot even find him? So first of all, they have to find him.
Yes.
Then only they have to approach him. They were not even able to find Brihaspati, let alone approaching him. And Brahma did not want to force Brihaspati. He did not want to say where Brihaspati is, what he is doing. Brahma understood that these guys have to go through some circus, they have to go through some difficulty, then they will understand better as to what is their position. So therefore, Brahma also directed them according to the plan. So this whole universe is acting according to a particular plan. And that plan is known to Brahma. It is not that Brahma doesn't know that they will go to Swarup, then they will get into more trouble, and they're going to suffer more. Brahma knows all these things. So therefore, he simply directed them according to whatever is needed. So it was needed for them to undergo that suffering, for them to understand, to have some realization. So therefore, he did not direct them to Prasad. He just told them to go to Vishnu.
Thank you so much.
Is that okay?
Yes, Guruji. Thank you.
Okay. So let's continue. Please read next translation.
Sukdev Goswami continued. When all the demigods requested the great Vishwarup to be their priest, Vishwarupa, who was advanced in austerity, was very pleased. He replied to them as follows.
Please read next.
Sri Vishwarup said, O demigods, although the acceptance of priesthood is decried as causing the loss of previously acquired Brahminical power, how can someone like me refuse to accept your personal request? You are all exalted commanders of the entire universe. I am your disciple and must take many lessons from you. Therefore, I cannot refuse you. I must agree for my own benefit.
Okay, what is this verse number?
This project,
Yeah.
35.
What is the verse number which you read?
35,
right now?
Prabhuji. 35.
35, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next.
O exalted governors of various planets, the true Brahmana who has no material possessions maintains himself by the profession of accepting Shilonchana. In other words, he picks up grains left in the field and on the ground in the wholesale marketplace. By this means, householder Brahmanas who actually abide by the principles of austerity and penance maintain themselves and their families and perform all necessary pious activities. A Brahmana who desires to achieve happiness by gaining wealth through professional priesthood must certainly have a very low mind. How shall I accept such priesthood?
Okay, next.
All of you are my superiors. Therefore, although accepting priesthood is sometimes reapproachable, I can't refuse even a small request from you. I agree to be your priest. I shall fulfill your request by dedicating my life and possessions.
Okay, so from these three verses, 35, 36, and 37, they're very important in terms of how to understand, how to perform priestly duties in ISKCON. Because ISKCON has many grastas, and then they all need samskaras to be done. So there should be priests who can actually do them. It's a very important service which should be done for the sake of maintaining nice grasta ashram. But at the same time, here we find that Vishwarupa is saying that the accepting priestly duties is not good. He says, Akinchana nam hi dhanam hai silonchanam. So he says that Brahmana should be independent. he should not be dependent. Purohita Pura means house. Hita means what is good for the house, in which he is a Brahmana. So what is good for the family, for whom he is a priest? So he should actually act according to that. And he also takes remuneration from the Ejaman. And by taking the remuneration from Ejaman, he also relieves the Ejaman of his karma, which the Purohit is basically accepting by doing various activities. So then how to understand the role of a Purohit and what is the mood of a Purohit in ISKCON? These things are important subject matters to discuss. So therefore, it's important on both sides. It's not only important on the Purohit side, but it's also important on the side of Grahasthas, that how to actually see a person who is doing priestly duties in ISKCON. Because the problem is that in Kali Yuga, the Brahmanas who are doing priestly duties, they have more or less reduced to some sort of Shudra platform, because they demand so much money for doing this, doing that, and they are like more time conscious. They want to do things very quickly and go away. And sometimes they don't even chant the mantras properly or fully. They're conducting their whole priestlyhood, many of them, not everybody, but many of them conduct their whole priestlyhood as more or less like a business. So sometimes our grahasthas, they may also look down upon the devotees who are doing priestly duties, or like them, not like businessmen. But there is also a mood of a grahastha who engages a brahmana to do those activities, especially in the Vaishnava community, where everybody is a Vaishnava. So the proper mood should be understood from both sides. So therefore, we will read those three purports which are there. So from 35 onwards, 35, 36, 37, three purports will read. So please read purport for 35. Purport for 35. 35 के तात्पर्य पढ़ना है.
The professions of a qualified Brahmin. Yeah, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. The professions of a qualified Brahmana are Patana, Patana, Yajna,
Yajana,
Yajna, Dana, and Pratigraha. The words Yajna and Yajna mean that a Brahmana becomes the priest of the populace for the sake of their elevation. One who accepts the post of spiritual master neutralizes the sinful reactions of the Yajmana, the one on whose behalf he performs yajna. Thus, the results of the pious acts previously performed by the priest or spiritual master are diminished. Therefore, priesthood is not accepted by learned Brahmanas. Nevertheless, the greatly learned Brahman Vishwarupa became the priest of the demigods because of his profound respect for them.
Okay, next purport.
First-class
First-class Brahmana does not accept any rewards from his disciples or yajamanas, practicing austerities and penances. He instead goes to the agricultural field and collects food grains left by the agriculturists to be collected by the Brahmanas. Similarly, such Brahmanas go to marketplaces where grains are purchased and sold wholesale, where they collect grains left by the merchants. In this way, such exalted Brahmanas maintain their bodies and families. Such priests never demand anything from the disciples to live in opulence, imitating Kshatriyas or Vaishyas. In other words, a pure Brahmana voluntarily accepts a life of poverty and lives in complete dependence on the mercy of the Lord. Not very many years ago, a Brahmin in Krishnanagar near Navadvip was offered some help from the local zamindar, Braja Krishna Chandra. The Brahmana refused to accept the help. He said that since he was very happy in his householder life, taking rice given by his disciples and cooking vegetables of tamarind leaves, there was no question of taking help from the zamindar. The conclusion is that although a Brahmana may receive much opulence from his disciples, he should not utilize the rewards of his priesthood for his personal benefit. He must use them for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, next.
The word samadhina is very important. Samadhi means complete absorption with an undiverted mind. Vishvarupa, who was the most learned Brahmana, not only accepted the request of the demigods but took their request seriously and performed the activities of priesthood with an undiverted mind. In other words, he accepted the priesthood not for material gain but to profit the demigods. Such is the duty of a priest. The word puraha means family, hita means benefit. Thus, the word purohit indicates that the priest is the well-wisher of the family. Another meaning of the word puraha is first. A priest's first duty is to see that his disciples benefit spiritually and materially by all means. Then he is satisfied. A priest should never be interested in performing Vedic rituals for his personal benefit.
So here, very nicely, Prabhupada has explained that what is the mood and with which the priestly activities are to be performed. So here it is very clear that how we should see the priestly activities, what mode we should see the priestly activities, and how the activities are to be performed. Because this is a necessary service, and it's a very important service. So therefore, the service has to be performed also in a very nice way, with the proper mood. At the same time, those who are taking these services, they should also be very careful not to look at these priests who are performing the services as some, regular people who are just trying to do things for money. Just understand that, these people are doing it for our own benefit. And then it's their duty to take care of them properly. That, they should take care of them nicely and properly. They should not think that, okay, now, he is doing like this and why I should take care of him. These things should not be there. So from both sides, there should be proper understanding of what duties they have to perform and how they have to perform and how they need to be taken care. Okay, good. So let us, okay, some hands are up. Let us see. Yes, Mataji. What's it? Neela Priya? Is that very difficult for me to read because of the phone?
Leela Priya Shama Mataji.
Leela Priya Shama Mataji, yes. I could not make out between N and L because the letters are too small. Yes, Leela Priya Mataji.
What is the difference between priest and spiritual master? Is it the same?
In some cases, it could be seen as same. That the spiritual master also acts as a priest. In some cases, the spiritual master may ask someone to act as a priest. So, like for example, in the beginning of the movement, Prabhupada conducted the marriage of his disciples. So he is a spiritual master, but he is also doing the priestly duty. He is also the priest in marriage. But nowadays, we don't see spiritual masters conducting the marriage. They just take part in the marriage. They come and they take part in the marriage and then they may give some blessings and some advice. But they have trained somebody to do this kind of work, the priestly work. So those who are doing the priestly work, in one sense, they are following the instruction of the spiritual master to take up that kind of service, and that they do. So sometimes the priest may be the spiritual master. Sometimes he may not be. But in all cases, the priest is definitely acting like a Shiksha Guru. He is definitely acting like an instructing spiritual master, because he gives various instructions on how to perform various samskaras and in what mood the samskaras will be performed, and how to worship the Lord and satisfy the Lord by performing the samskaras, and how to act for the benefit of the family through these samskaras. So by doing these things, he is giving a lot of instruction. So therefore, definitely the priest is to be treated as one of the instructing spiritual masters, as a Siksha Guru, if not Diksha Guru. It's clear?
Yes. Thank you so much.
The priest also should be like that. He should also not come and simply chant some mantra, blah, blah, and run away. He should try to explain the mood in which the whole activity is to be done. He should try to instruct to the family members. And sometimes there are non-devotee family members. He should be expert in utilize the opportunity to preach to them, to make them chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all these things. Generally, I have seen in ISKCON, devotees who do priestly duties, they are very expert in this. They try to involve everybody, they try to involve the relatives to make them chant and things like that. So I remember that when I wanted to do my Graha Pravesa ceremony in my hometown, Kumbakonam, so that time I wanted to bring one ISKCON priest and then do it. So I invited one very senior devotee to come and do these activities. And he also gladly consented, because at that time he was doing. Later, nowadays he is not doing. He stopped doing Purohita duties anymore. I called him for my son's marriage. He said, no, I'm not doing anymore. Anyway, so I called him for the Graha Pravesa. And then in my house, they all became very skeptical, because my house, they are pious people, but they are not so much like ISKCON. Except few family members, they are ISKCON. Others are just pious people. Especially my father, that time he was alive. He was a pious man. So, and also in our community, everybody is some sort of self-proclaimed expert. So, if some new priest comes and if he doesn't do things properly, then they will very heavily criticize, because they all know all the mantras, they all know all the procedure. They can sit with the priest and chant all the mantras. They can do all that stuff. But they will do all nonsense also. So they're typical kind of Vaibhava Ratha kind of people. They know all the Vedic rituals and they blindly follow the rituals, but they don't know the essence behind that Vedic rituals, that Vishnu Aradhyate Param, that they don't know that principle. But they are very good in finding fault. They're very expert in finding fault. So sometimes I have seen in my young age, when I was a child, sometimes these marriages, there will be big fight, because somebody will find fault with the priest that, oh, he didn't chant this mantra properly, he didn't do this properly, what kind of priest you have brought, he's unqualified fellow. All these things, they will make big fighting for this. I have sometimes seen this kind of things. So this priest is a very sensitive matter. But I put my foot down. I said that, no, I want to have my whole thing done in a Gaudiya Vaishnava way, because I am now initiated. I have to follow my guru system. I cannot follow some Smartha Brahmana system. And then the long negotiation on this. And finally, my father settled, saying that, okay, the day before ceremony, we will do with our priest. The day after ceremony, you do with your priest. The main function. Ceremony, you do with your priest. But the day before some things have to be done, that we'll do with our priest. And I also told them from beginning that I don't want to disrespect our family priest. So I will give him whatever full dakshina I have to give, I will give him. And I will give him vastram. I will invite him. I will seek his blessings. I will do everything. Except that asking him to do the Graha Pravesam, I will do everything else. Because he has been our family priest for, his father has been our family priest for our father's grandfather. He is our family priest. So I didn't want to disrespect him or displease him because he's also a Brahmana. We should not unnecessarily disrespect the Brahmanas. So I personally went and explained to him. Then I gave him his dakshina in advance. I gave him vastram. I fell at his feet. I seek his blessings. I explained to him, see, this is I'm not doing because I disrespect you. I'm doing because I have now taken Diksha in a particular parampara. You understand these things better. You know how Diksha works. I explained all these things. And he was also very happy. He was quite happy that, okay, we do it, you are doing it properly like that. He also was very happy, and then he was quite happy that I came, I respected him, and we gave him so many things. He was quite happy. And he also was happy that he got something to do his part in the previous day. The next day, our devotee, he started. And then he so expertly did everything that nobody could find any fault with him. So expertly he did it. And in the process, he made all of them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra so many times. And he made them to get into Kirtan. He explained each and every process, why he's doing. He explained the meaning of all the mantras. He explained why different offerings are being done. So nicely, so elaborately he did that. Then everybody started saying, hey, we should get this priest to do our things also. Then I said, no, he doesn't come for everybody. This comes for devotees. Doesn't come for everybody. So sometimes doing these duties, priestly duties, could also be big preaching. It could also be big preaching, especially if someone is very expert. It could be very big preaching. And that person acts like a Siksha Guru for everybody. So therefore, definitely there is a connection between the spiritual master and the priestly goods. Connection is definitely there. Yes, Rukmini Mataji, Rukmini Harisevani Mataji.
Prabhuji, many years back, like 7-8 years back or 9 years back, I did IDC, and they said in the IDC we should not ask anything material from the spiritual master. Oh, I'm not getting this. Oh, I'm not getting married. Oh, I'm not getting child. For this spiritual master is not for this. So here we are reading one line that a priest first duty, and you said that yes, priest can be spiritual master. A priest's first duty is to see that his disciple benefits spiritually and materially by all means. Materially.
Prabhupada says that spiritual well-being is followed by material well-being in one purport. Where, Pa? The purport. I'm asking my wife because she's sleeping. Spiritual well-being is followed by material well-being.
First canto, first chapter.
The first canto, yeah, that in my encyclopedia is just sitting behind me. So I asked her. So Prabhupada says in one purport that the spiritual well-being is followed by material well-being. It's first canto, first chapter, Vetattam Saumyatat Sarvam. That verse purport, she's saying. So, of course, material well-being is part of Krishna consciousness. It's already there. But we are not following Krishna consciousness for material well-being. Devotees are well situated. I hardly see devotees suffering for basic necessities like, prasadam or food or shelter. They are always well situated. They are well fed. Sometimes they are so much fed that they become fed up. So in Mayapur, always some feast is going on.
Okay. 119.
Yeah, 119. In that purport, it is there. Spiritual being is followed, but well-being is followed by material well-being. So that is already there. We may not recognize it. We may not see it because we are not looking for it. So we may not see it. But naturally, it is there. You see nice arrangement which we are having in ISKCON. for various things. You see, you see the different temples. We have such an opulent temples like, Mayapur, Vrindavan, so many different places in Delhi and other places. We go to those temples, we treat those temples like our own house. We know that this place belongs to us. We are ISKCON people. This place belongs to us. We roam around here and there, everywhere in the temple. We are taking advantage of all the facilities which is given there. So, in one sense, it is also material well-being in one sense because we are having such a nice arrangements. Definitely, the spiritual master takes care of the material well-being also. It's not that he doesn't take care. It's not that he is asking people to chant Hare Krishna and then they're all starving. It's not like that. It's not like that. So, my spiritual master was recollecting one past time incident which happened during Prabhupada's time. That time Bhajan Kutir, Prabhupada was staying in Bhajan Kutir, and the devotees used to stay just adjacent to Bhajan Kutir. And then the devotees are having prasadam, and Prabhupada is sitting there, and the devotees were eating puris. And devotees are asking for more and more. And Prabhupada got worried. Prabhupada set instruction that, devotees are not supposed to eat so many puris. It's not good. So it means that the spiritual master is providing opulently, but the disciples also should know how to utilize that opulence. So
Thank you so much.
definitely, but we don't ask for it. We don't join ISKCON. Okay, I'm very sick. I don't have time I don't have money to treat myself. I don't have any insurance. Let me go and join ISKCON. ISKCON will take care of me. Or I don't have a house. Let me go and join ISKCON. ISKCON will take care of me. Or, okay, let me go to ISKCON and find a husband and then vanish. Or let me go to ISKCON, find a wife and then vanish. Sometimes people come like that. Sometimes people come like that. Sometimes I see that young boys, they come to parikrama and their only intention of coming to parikrama is to see young girls and then see if they can find some match. And then they suddenly vanish after that. The next time you see them is when they're fighting as husband and wife and then they need some counseling. That's when you see them. Because their motivation to come to devotional service itself is flawed. So it's not wrong to aspire to get married to a devotee. Should get aspired to marry to a devotee. But we should not simply utilize the facility of ISKCON just to get married to a devotee. I was talking to one young boy. I asked him that why you are in ISKCON. So he was saying, I want to get married to a foreigner girl. So these are all wrong motives to be in ISKCON. And they will definitely end up with problem. Definitely they will end up with problem. But of course, we find many devotees getting married to many devotees. Sometimes they are Indian body, foreign body getting married together. But they are not marrying with the motive that, I want to get married to foreign boy or foreign girl. They are simply getting married because in some way they are attracted to each other by their devotional service or whatever it is. And then they seek the blessings of the spiritual master and then they get married. So there's nothing wrong in getting married to some foreign body devotee. But that is not motive. So that is a difference. That difference definitely should be understood.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question, comment? Okay. Please read further translation. You can read all the way till the end of the chapter.
Shri Shukadev Goswami continued, O king, after making this promise to the demigods, the exalted Vishwarupa surrounded by the demigods, performed the necessary priestly activities with great enthusiasm and attention.
Next.
The opulence of the demons, who are generally known as the enemies of the demigods, was protected by the talents and tactics of Shukracharya. But Vishwarupa, who was most powerful, composed a protective prayer known as the Narayan Kavacha. By this intelligent mantra, he took away the opulence of the demons and gave it to Mahendra, the king of heaven.
Vishwarupa, who was most liberal, spoke to King Indra Sahasraksha, the secret hymn that protected Indra and conquered the military power of the demons.
Okay, next.
Prabhuji, this was the last word, last
Yeah,
translation
yeah.
of this chapter.
So now, yeah, so this brings us to the end of the first chapter. We go to the next chapter. So where he's going to ask about the Narayana Kavacham. So, and then because Parishit Maharaj was king and he also expert in warfare. So therefore, naturally, when he hears about warfare, when he hears about techniques of warfare, when he hears about different types of armors, then his natural interest as a Kshatriya, it becomes very much kindled. So therefore, he became very curious that, that what is this Kavacha that could actually defeat all the tricks of Shukracharya, because Shukracharya is considered very learned. In the 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna talks about Shukracharya as his opulence, he says Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. So he says that amongst the learned, I am the most intelligent man. I am Shukracharya. So Shukracharya is very, very intelligent, and his designs or his strategy, Vishwarupa was able to defeat. So therefore, naturally, he became very interested in that Kavacha, and then he asked questions about that Kavacha. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. Okay, before moving to next chapter, any questions or comments on this chapter, anything specific? Of course, because I am traveling and I am attending from phone, we didn't read the purports. We just did all the discussion points. We have to read some purports, which definitely we'll read next week in chapter number 1. We'll read some highlights of purports. But we have done all the discussion now. So next class will be we'll read those purports because we cannot miss them. Okay, any questions or comments or anything which is there? Any issue in this? Till what time we are going for the class? 1 or 1:30? Rukmini Harisevani Mataji.
We'll go by one. This been the given timing to us.
Oh, 1 now. Okay, so we'll stop then. Okay, then we are exactly time. We should stop. We stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. So see you all next week. Saturday we have class, so don't forget. So we'll meet exactly at 10 o'clock. So today I was traveling, so I got a little bit mixed up here and there. I thought the class is going to start at 10:30. Anyway, we ended up having nice darshan of Lord Ram. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.